Welcome to another episode on Code with me. In today's tutorial, we will be building a mini bank app. This app would have simple functions such as check balance, deposit, withdraw, and exit. We will be using the while loop, conditional statements which includes the if, else if, and else, and as well as the input function to get value from the user. To begin, let's call a variable balance. And let's say balance is equals to 0 as initial deposit. Now we need to get the user. We'll say user is equals to input. And let's say please enter your name. Let's add a /n to make it attractive. Good. Now that we have the user, let's welcome the user to our bank. Let's print. Remember to use the F format to get the name of the user. Let's say welcome to Code with Me Bank. An example. So I want to welcome the user to our bank. Remember to use a /n to also make that look clean. Now that we've welcomed the user to our bank, let's create a while loop. So say while true. Now this is going to showcase options we have for the user, and we'll keep running until the user exits the app. So let's print the options available for the user. /n. Let's say 1, we want to check balance. /n to enter the next line. 2, we want to deposit. /n. 3, we want to withdraw. /n again, and the last one 4 once it exits the program. Good. Now give a user a choice. So say choice will be equals to the input, where we get allow user to enter an option for the choice, and would say choose an option. And let's give the user a hint of 1 to 4 so that they can enter, and also put a /n to make the code clean again. Now that we've done that, let's place conditions to know which one the user is going to pick. So let's say if choice is equals to the string 1, we want to check the balance. So to check the balance, we're going to print. Remember to use the F string because we want to get the name of the user, and /n, we want to get the account space balance, and then we pass in balance. Now we want balance to come out in a float, so let's do .2f, so to give us 2 decimal numbers after the whole number, and let's put a currency sign in front of it so that we're able to get that. So this is beautiful. Remember to also do a /n for clean code. Good. Now we've gotten the amount. The next thing we want to check is else. Else if choice is equals the string 2, then we want to ask the user to enter an amount because the user is depositing this time. So amount is equals to input, and we'll just say enter amount. Now that the user has entered the amount, let's say if amount dot is digits, because we want to make sure it's a digit. Now if the amount is digits, then we want the balance to plus equals a float amount. The reason why we're using a float here is just in case the user uses something like $50.20 or 40 naira 20 kobo, something like that. That's why we're using a float, in case a float is being passed. Then if that's the case, then let's print a success message /n to tell the user amount, where you're passing the amount deposited successfully. Good. So now we've told the user amount is deposited successfully. Now let's add an F format to the front of the string so we can get that. Good. Now what if the user passes in something that is not digits? Let's also handle that. Let's say else print and say invalid amount entry. Now that's that for the deposit. /n for clean code. Okay, now let's handle the third choice. If choice equals this string, I like using double quotes, the string 3, then what do we want to do? We want to also get the amount from the user. So amount is equals to input, how much you want to withdraw. So let's say enter amount to withdraw. Good, so we're trying to get an amount to withdraw from the user. Now that the user has entered an amount to withdraw, we want to check if amount dot digits as well. If amount dot is digit as well, because we need to check that. Now if amount is a digit, then let's check if balance is greater than or equals to float amount. If the balance is greater than that, then balance is going to be minus equals float amount. So we are minusing because the person is withdrawing. Now, what if the person doesn't have a balance that is greater than amount? Let's print insufficient fund. Good. So the person doesn't have an amount that is up to that. Let's print insufficient fund. But if the person does, we need to also send a message. Let's send a success message and say let's put a format string in front and say amount. Then we'll put a minus in front of that. Minus amount withdrawn successfully. So we're trying to pass a message that, okay, if the person withdraws the amount, you should say amount withdrawn successfully. But if not, then you should pass in insufficient fund. So let's add a currency sign in front of that. And let's also do the same for our deposits. Let's put a currency sign in front of that too. Sweet. Now this handles the insufficient fund. Okay, let's also have an else for wrong entries that are not digits. So let's print, if it's not a digit for the withdrawal, let's print invalid amount entry. So as simple as that. Now we've handled an if to check the amount. We've handled another else if to check for the deposits or to handle deposit. Now we've done the one to handle withdrawal. Let's now go and handle the last one, which is the else if choice is equals the string 4, then we want to print a thank you message. So let's use an F string so we can address the name. We'll say thank you user for banking with us, and let's say goodbye, something like that. So if the user has done banking, we'll say thank you for banking with us and goodbye. /n to make all prints look clean and easy. So that is just what we want. We want a clean and easy code. Okay, let's go at the top of where we welcome the user. We forgot to do that here. We wanted to print welcome the user to the bank. So let's make it more personal. Let's add a string there and pass in the user. And let's add some quotes around that. So we'll say, oh, welcome the user. And that's it. Now, if the user is done, it also say thank the user for banking with us. And when that is done, after thanking the user, we break out of the we leave the bank or leave the app. Now we want to handle one more thing, which is else. What if the option is not 1, 2, 3, or 4? Let's print if it's anything outside 1, 2, 3, or 4. Then let's print invalid choice. Invalid choice, and say please try again. Good. So now we just said if it's an invalid choice, then just tell the user it's an invalid choice, please try again. And that is all for the code for this tutorial. It's quite simple and easy. First, we write the balance. Second, we get the name of the user who wants to use the app. Thirdly, we welcome this user. And then we create a while loop and to handle all the process of the app. So the next thing we show is the options. And then we allow the user to make a choice out of the options. And we handle if else for all of the options. So the first one is to check balance, second one is to deposit, third one is to withdraw, and last one is to exit. And if there's anything that is outside the options, you should just print invalid choice. As simple as that. So let's save our app, and now let's run the app to make sure everything works the way we want. So you could click the play. It's at the top right corner of your VS Code DIE or IDE for those who are using VS Code, whichever one you're using. So now when we run our app, we get the first thing which says please enter your name, and I would say let's say the name is code with me as the name. When I enter that, you can see it says welcome Code with me to the Code with me bank or the CWM bank. And then it says give me all the options to choose balance, deposit, withdraw, exit. Now let's check the balance first. And when we click 1 as the option and enter, you can see it gave me the name Code with me, and then it gave me the account balance. And the account balance is just showing that I have nothing in that account. Now let's try to deposit. So let's click on 2 to deposit. We enter the amount 500. When we enter that, you can see it says amount 500 deposited successfully. Now let's check our account balance again. When we click on 1 to check the balance and click enter, you can see it has the code with me, and then the balance has been updated to $500. Now let's withdraw. Let's press the 3 to withdraw, and let's withdraw 200. When you click on 200, you can see it says the amount 200 withdrawn successfully. And when we check our balance with 1 there, you can see it has updated our balance. Our balance is now $300 because 500 minus 200 would give us 300. Now what if we want to withdraw again? So let's press 3 and try to withdraw something higher than the balance, which is 300. Let's withdraw 500 again. When we click enter, you can see it says insufficient fund. And when we try to press something that is not part of the options and click enter, like 5, we click enter, you can see it said invalid choice, please try again. So let's click 4 to exit the app, and we'll click enter. It says thank you code with me for banking with us, as you can see here. And that is that for today's tutorial on creating a mini bank. Thank you for staying tuned. Please like this video and subscribe, and also share. God bless you.